Some movie relationships leave a lasting impression, and the bond between a mother and son is one of the most powerful. Here are 5 unforgettable movies you need to watch. Kicking things off with Obsession, 2015. She thought a crumbling farmhouse would save her marriage. Instead, it would nearly destroy her. Simone has everything a woman is supposed to want: a devoted husband, 2 children, and a dream. That dream is a broken-down house in the French countryside, one she plans to rebuild into something beautiful with her own hands. But as the walls come down, so does the careful order of her life. Among the workers hired to help with the renovation is a younger man, quiet and magnetic, whose presence begins to fill a space in her she didn't know was empty. What starts as stolen glances becomes something far more dangerous, a slow-burning affair that pulls her further from the family she swore to protect. Every day, she rebuilds the house. Up next is The Forest, 2018. In a village swallowed by an endless forest, a father and son are about to want the exact same woman, and neither of them knows it yet. 16-year-old Danila lives a suffocating life under the watch of his controlling mother and volatile father, cut off from the outside world, misunderstood at school, and quietly indifferent to girls his own age. But indifference has its limits. From an old shed at the edge of the trees, Danila watches Katya, a woman twice his age, married to a husband broken by alcohol and disability. He tells himself it's nothing. He tells himself he'll never act on it. Then his father sets his sights on the very same woman, promising to abandon his family for her, unaware that his own son harbors the same forbidden desire. What begins as a private, aching infatuation spirals into a collision no one in this isolated village can escape. Neighbors turn against neighbors. Moving on to Blush, 2019. She was certain her husband was cheating. She had no idea how wrong her life was about to go. Kathy is a woman who needs order, a precise routine, a controlled household, a marriage she believes she understands completely. But when a suspicion takes root that her husband is being unfaithful, that need for control curdles into obsession, and Kathy begins making choices that spiral further and further from anything resembling rational. Her unraveling doesn't happen in isolation. As her paranoia deepens, she draws the attention of a troubled teenage boy from next door, a young man whose fixation on her becomes increasingly unsettling and impossible to ignore. What should be a private midlife crisis becomes something stranger, messier, and far more dangerous as the line between victim and instigator starts to blur. Our next recommendation is Fallacy, 2013. David has the perfect life: a loving family, a promising career, a reputation worth protecting. He also has a secret that could destroy all of it. By day, David is an aspiring star lawyer, admired and ambitious, building the kind of future most people only dream of. By night, he lives an entirely different existence, one built on quick money and dangerous compromises, convinced that the end will always justify the means. It's a fragile balance, and it doesn't last. Lured deeper into a world he can't control, David finds himself entangled in a web of political intrigue far more treacherous than anything he bargained for. Every decision he makes to protect his family pulls him closer to exposing the very secret he's fighting to hide. The people around him, his wife, his colleagues, the powerful figures now watching his every move, all become pieces on a board he no longer controls. As the stakes rise, David is forced to confront an impossible question. How much of himself is he willing to sacrifice to keep his double life buried? And finally, we have Careful What You Wish for 2015. One summer, one affair, one death, and nothing about Doug's life will ever be the same again. Doug is spending the summer at his family's lake house, doing what any teenager might do to pass the time, when a new couple moves in next door. Elliot is a wealthy, controlling investment banker. His wife, Lena, is younger, restless, and impossible to ignore. When Doug is hired to help around their property, proximity turns into attraction. And attraction turns into an affair neither of them can walk away from. Lena hints at things about her husband she won't fully explain, dropping warnings that Doug is too infatuated to take seriously. Then, tragedy strikes the quiet lakeside community, a sudden, suspicious death that no one saw coming,